Undertale. You all probably know the game by now. If you don't, then how the hell did you find this video? It's literally all over the internet. I mean, Tumblr, Facebook, 4chan, this 8-bit RPG game is all over the place, man. Known for breaking the borders of your typical RPG. I mean, literally breaking the borders, or at least pushing them closer to the fight button. In this emotionally provoking and ultimately feel-numbing game, the two alternate storylines take you on a pun-filled, fourth-wall shattering adventure. And if it wasn't obvious enough, huge spoiler coming up, except for the people like me who don't really draw any huge attachments to a game until they actually played it themselves. But Undertale tends to hide a much darker secret underneath its surface. And no, I'm not talking about Gaster and his demented and unexplained followers. No, I'm talking about things even deeper than that. Not hidden in the coding, but the actual characters themselves. More importantly, the souls of those characters. The 7 souls of each main character. Papyrus, Sans, Toriel, Chara, Mettaton, Undyne, and the Spider Queen. What if I told you her constant craving for money and the fact that her soul was amongst the other 6 is directly linked to something even more sinister than that dastardly dog that absorbs your artifact? No offense to Toby Fox if you're watching this, but what if I told you Papyrus' love for pasta, Sans' refusal to work, Toriel's love for a child, Chara's genocidal revenge, Mettaton's steamy final form, Undyne's reluctance towards befriending the human, and the Spider Queen's donut sale all were linked to the 7 deadly sins? You heard correctly. Since we discussed the Spider Queen's greediness already, let's go in order of significance. Next up is Mettaton, or Lust. Aside from his over-obsession with his own figure, Mettaton shows some very lustful traits. But what is lust? It's a very strong desire or craving. Mettaton shows this through his desires of his show and personal appearance, even going as far as jeopardizing the plan to capture the human soul for a healthier alternative on his cooking show. Next up, Undyne. Pride. Bent on what she believes, this character is the definition of pride, a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction for one's own achievements. This can be applied to personal belief or accomplishment, in which Undyne represents both. Head of the Royal Guard, she prides herself on her own work, letting nothing stand in her way. This is shown in her racism towards Chara and Frisk, as well as her description of when she first fought Asgore. Next is the spaghetti-loving Papyrus, gluttony. Defined as habitual greed or excess in eating. Now hold up. Papyrus, greedy? Really, man? It's shocking, but nonetheless true. His desperation for abundance of friends and popularity, as well as wanting to be head of the royal guard for no particular reason other than fame. Believe it or not, Papyrus shows some very gluttonous behavior. Then there's Sans, Papyrus' brother, or as I like to call him, Sloth. The one who was too lazy to make hot dogs, so he just plucked up a bunch of cattail-like plants called water sausages, found in the beginning of the game in Toriel's house. Throughout the whole game, he's regarded as lazy, so much so to the point where he even got his own brother presumably killed because he decided not to help him build the time machine. Now, I'm not sure if that's canon, but why else would you find blueprints to a time machine in Sans' garage and discover Gaster was erased from time because of an quote-unquote experiment gone wrong? Even though Sans clearly wasn't. It's because when Gaster was erased, so was his memory, and with that, Sans assumed he created the time machine, when really it was all his non-existent brother, Gaster. Even Sans' special attacks are done with the canon name Gaster Blasters, pun intended. Next is Toriel. This one is a bit harder to cover, but makes sense when you think about it. It's envy. By process of elimination, it certainly isn't wrath. Even when she kills you, there's that one frame of, oh no, what have I done, that covers her face. No, she is envious of your freedom. Envy, a feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone's possession, quality, or luck. Frisk fell down a hole into the underworld. Toriel wanted to keep him safe at any cost, while simultaneously they both wanted freedom. She was discontented or resentful towards the idea of Frisk getting hurt the same way that Chara did. Aroused by Chara's freedom, she doesn't want either one of them to get hurt. Okay, so that last one was a little iffy, but here's something that no one could ever deny. Chara's wrath. After being taken into a home, treated like family, Chara was murdered by her own father in order to break the barrier. Chara was pissed. So much so to the point where I'll say there like they do in the game, even though that's grammatically incorrect, Toby Fox. So much so to the point where their own wrath took over their soul and they came back to life just so they could kill every single last monster in existence, including their own brother, Azrael. So, those souls that you see inside the monsters aren't monster souls, but rather the souls of fallen angels, demons. Kinda makes Chara sound like a saint, except he was one of them. But I know what all of you are asking. Where does that leave Ascor? Isn't he involved in all this? I mean, he seems pretty significant in the whole storyline and whatnot. Well, I'll tell you. Ascor is the 8-bit embodiment of Satan himself. He's affiliated with Toriel and Chara, envy and wrath. In the story of Lucifer, Lucifer was envious of God's power, wanting it all to himself. Ascor shows this envy when he tries to become, quote, godlike, unquote, in the game. All for his wrath towards humanity. In the story, Lucifer was sent to hell and named the Horned Beast. Being cursed to hell, Lucifer vowed vengeance, and would then become the prince of the overworld, doing everything in his power to lead God's children into eternal damnation with him. Sound familiar? Tell me, if a human soul stays long after the human has died, what do you think Ascor would do with all those human souls? He certainly wouldn't just leave them around, would he? No. He planned to take them and become even more powerful. Now, imagine being stuck inside a beast that's killing off your own race. Literally being forced to kill off your own kind. That sounds like hell to me. Complete with the cliche 3-pointed pitchfork, Ascor is the video game embodiment of Satan. You know, the evidence that really gets to me is Burger Pants. I can't go to hell. I'm all out of vacation days. But what if I told you Papyrus' love for Sosta? Gosh dang it. you.